I want to bring Jeremy Saland back in. Jeremy, opening statements start on Monday. Can you give us a preview of what we could be seeing?
Everyone's been waiting for this moment, the opening statements. Leading up to this, we've had jury selection. There's been a lot of boring, if you will, mundane type of back and forth between the parties. But now it's time to hear what we should expect, the theories of the case and the narrative. Who starts? The prosecution starts. And what might they start with? They're not going to say this is the Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels show, but they are going to be relevant to this case. And they're going to take this opportunity to say, as important as these two are, as relevant as they are, and as much evidence as they have, it is not resting on the two of their shoulders. But yes, there is issues with credibility. Yes, there's been issues with lying. But Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen, you should listen to them, but not alone. Why not? You also have checks, for example. And those checks will show that these payments were in fact made. You have someone like David Pecker, who can give background and context as to what was going on about a possible, what we call a catch and kill, to avoid the election and consequences to it in the event that it was found out that Stormy Daniels, if true, had an affair with the former president. It's not solely, again, Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels. It's not solely David Pecker. And for that matter, it's not solely the checks. It's a combination of all these different factors, even if it's shared in a more general context, to reach the point that at the end of all of this, after all the fraud was completed, after there was the defrauding of the business records to hide, what were they trying to hide? This underlying crime. And that underlying crime is what? That was to cause some disruption in the election to protect the former president, to commit that other crime. Now, you also have the defense. And the defense has their opening as well. And I would expect it to be more general. It's not going to get into the same degree of the weeds, because not only do they not have to have a defense, they don't have to have their theory out there, and will listen and respond to the prosecution as that case moves forward. But they're going to take a different approach to these two people. What are they going to say? Do not trust. They are liars. They are dishonest. They are deceitful, and they are the actual fraudsters who perpetrated crimes, not the former president of the United States. Well, who is the former president? We all know Donald Trump, but did Donald Trump know what was going on? Was he a passenger, if you will, in this whole ride, unaware of what was happening next? Was it his intent? Did he actually take the steps to defraud? Did he actually take the steps to try to avoid the consequences of his election, or what might happen in that election? Ultimately, will Donald Trump testify? I don't expect you'll hear much, because there won't be a promise from the defense that, yes, you will hear from my client. They may leave that more open, but it'll certainly be lurking in the back of jurors' minds as, will we hear from the former president? I expect no promise from the defense team as they move forward.